psychological factor, emotional disturbance, psychological factor, emotional disturbance, psychological factor, emotional disturbance, mental deficiency और mental personality issues. mental deficiency और personality issues का क्या होगा? peer pressure, association with deviant peer group and subculture, association with deviant peer group and subculture, association with deviant peer group and subculture, association with deviant peer group and subcultures. क्या था? Juvenile delinquency is a legal term that describe when minor in that describe when minor engage in illegal behavior before they reach the tender age of 18. Tender age of 18. Juvenile delinquency is a legal term that describes when minor engage in illegal behavior. When minor engage in illegal behavior, the tender age of 18. Present is factor, social and environmental factor, poverty, lack of education, और क्या है, and family history of criminality. Psychological factor, emotional disturbance, mental deficiency और personality issues को क्या आएगा? mental deficiencies और personality issues, peer pressure, association with deviant peer group, subculture, peer group and subculture, association with deviant peer group and subculture, association with association with deviant groups and association with deviant peer group and subcultures, association within deviant peer groups and subcultures, peer group and subcultures. Association with deviant peer group and subcultures. Juvenile delinquency is a legal term that describe when minor engage in illegal behavior. Where they have reached the standard age of 18. Social and environmental factor, poverty, lack of education, and family history of criminality. Psychological factor, emotional disturbance. Mental deficient personality issues, peer pressure, association with deviant peer groups and subculture, association with deviant peer groups and subculture, association with deviant peer groups and subcultures, personality and personality issues, deficiency of personality issues, deviant peer groups and subcultures. Juvenile delinquency is a legal term that describes when engaged in illegal behavior before they have reached the standard age of 18. फिर आएगा causes and risk factor, social and environmental factor, lack of poverty, lack of education, and family history of criminality. Poverty, lack of education, family history, criminality. Social and environmental factor, poverty, lack of education, and family history of criminality. Psychology factor, emotional disturbance, mental deficiencies or personality issues, mental deficiencies or personality issues. Peer pressure, association with deviant peer group and subculture. Association with deviant peer groups or subculture. Association with deviant groups and association with deviant peer groups and subculture. Association with deviant peer groups and subculture. Association with deviant peer groups or subcultures. Association with deviant peer groups or subculture. Deviant peer groups or subculture. Association with deviant peer group and subculture. Okay. Yeah, mental deficiencies or personality issues. Mental deficiencies or personality. Mental deficiencies or personality issues. Peer pressure, association with deviant group, association with deviant peer group and subculture. Deviant peer group and subculture. Association with deviant peer group and subculture. Subculture, association with deviant peer group. Association with deviant peer group and subculture. Deviant peer group and subculture. Association with 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 deviant peer group or subculture. Association with deviant peer group or subculture. Peer group subculture. Deviant peer group and subculture. ठीक है हो गया. Gender is a legal term that describe when minor engage in illegal behavior before they have reached a statutory age of 18. Behavior before they have reached a statutory age of 18. When minor engage in illegal behavior before they have reached a statutory age of 18. ओके. अब क्लेफ्ट लिप का क्या होगा? क्लेफ्ट लिप का क्या होगा? क्लेफ्ट लिप का क्या होगा? A cleft lip is a common congenital facial birth defect occurring when upper lip tissues fail to fuse properly during the first 6 से 10 week of pregnancy, resulting in a gap or split. Causes of left lip failure of fusion: genetic factor, genetic environmental factor, genetic nutrient deficiencies, failure of fusion, genetic factor, nutrient deficiencies. Deficiencies. Failure of fusion. Failure of fusion. they have before they have before they have before they have reached the century. Yes, century age of it हो गया. They have reached a standard age of 18 before Camellia in little before they have the standard age of 18. They have reached a standard age of 18. तो ये क्या है? क्लेफ्ट लिप का क्या है? क्लेफ्ट लिप इज अ कॉमन कंजेनाइटल फेशियल डिफेक्ट. फेस क्लेफ्ट लिप यार क्लेफ्ट लिप का क्या है? क्लेफ्ट लिप इज a common congenital facial birth defect occurring when upper lip. A cleft lip is a common congenital face birth defect. Is a common congenital facial birth defect. A cleft lip is a common congenital facial birth defect. A cleft lip is a common congenital facial birth defect. Facial birth defect. Birth defect. Birth defect occurring when upper lip tissue fail to fuse properly. Upper lip occurring when cleft lip is a common a cleft lip is a common congenital facial birth defect. Cleft lip is a common congenital facial birth defect occurring when upper lip tissue fail to fuse properly. Occurring when upper lip tissue fail to fuse properly. Upper lip tissue fail to fuse when upper lip tissues fail to fuse properly during the first 6 to 10 week of pregnancy. During the first 6 से 10 week of pregnancy, resulting in a gap or split. Gap or split. Causes of cleft lip: failure of fusion, genetic factor, environmental factor, nutrient deficiencies, environmental genetic factor, genetic factor, failure of fusion, nutrient deficiencies, failure of fusion, environmental factor, genetic factor, failure of fusion, nutrient deficiencies, nutrient of deficiencies, failure of fusion, nutrient 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 deficiencies. Failure of fusion, nutrient deficiencies. Gap or split. Failure of fusion, genetic factor, nutrient deficiencies.